Hey, this is Ryan from Eminence, and this is one of the first videos in this new series I'm starting called Website Mentor. In this series, I'm going to review and critique websites. So some of these websites will be from clients that I'm working with. Some of them will be submitted to me. You could submit your website in the comments if you want me to take a look at it. My plan is not to go through these websites extensively, but to review them and just point out a few items from each website that I think is going to be helpful for the website owner and also for the people watching the video. And I'd love for the viewers of this video to also comment if you see things on this website that you think could be improved, things you like. Feel free to comment, and then hopefully the website owner is going to check on those and get some more feedback, and it'll help me too as I review more websites in the future. So let's jump right into this one. This is actually an advertising client of mine, so I'm familiar with the website and some of the issues. That's why I thought it would be a good one for me to review. So it's called That Bridal Glow. This is a makeup artist in the Miami area, but I kind of like to put myself in the shoes of a brand new visitor and kind of pretend like I don't know what it is and see what my first impression is. So if you were to land on this page not knowing what they do, you kind of think about where your eyes go. I mean, first or second, you're probably going to look at the logo and brand name here, which is That Bridal Glow. So right away, it has something to do with weddings. You see the pictures. You can read this here, and this is just kind of an interesting quote here. A lot of people like to do that. I get how it's kind of catchy and artsy, but it doesn't really say much, and it is taking up a lot of important real estate on the website. So I'd encourage website owners to really think about, are quotes like this worth it to take up that much space? Maybe you want to move it farther down the page, because again, that's a big section right there. So first impression, we see this. You might not know what they're doing or what the main service is, but you notice it is up here. So we have like the what and the where, on location makeup and hair services, Miami, South Florida, and destinations worldwide. So it's a very important statement, and for it to be so small up in the left-hand corner is questionable. It's good that it's there at all, because a lot of times you don't even have a statement like that anywhere at the top of the page. So it's good that it's there, but again, very small. So one suggestion might be to take a statement like this and put it in this section here, because most people are going to read this as one of the first and second, impressions when they land on the page. Another thing I kind of want to point out by way of first impression is the images. Obviously, they're very powerful. I mean, people are going to definitely look at the images. You notice that scrolling through a few, you can maybe notice on the video that they're a little bit pixelated. So in an industry like this where the aesthetic is super important, you probably want to have really great images. And they're good images or professional photos, I'm sure, from the wedding, but they're a little bit misaligned, like this guy's head's cut off. You see the bride. So they're maybe not aligned, maybe not great resolution for such large images. So I think that could be improved on this website, and it's definitely something to consider on your own website. That first image, that hero image, as we call it, is pretty important and powerful. So you'll see as we scroll through this website, great images overall, but these first few at the top of the homepage could probably be improved a little bit. So just to talk about the overall design real quick, I think it looks pretty nice overall. You definitely want to have a stylized look and aesthetic on a page like this, because it is an artistic industry. I mean, it's makeup, it's weddings. So I think the overall look is good. Some people could overdo it with these real stylized fonts. I think they're used pretty well here. There might be a few sections on the page like this one where people might have to take a few extra seconds to actually read it. So you definitely don't want to overdo it with these fonts. Here's another example of probably a strong image, but we don't really know because it's cut off. That's a big chunk of space here that's kind of wasted and awkward. I think things are pretty well balanced. There are some issues with like padding and margin. Like for example, this section here. I love like blurbs like this where you can kind of get some small points across, but I think when people put too much text, a lot of people aren't going to take the time to read this. I love this to be like 1 or 2 sentences and balanced so that all 3 kind of look the same size. I think you're just going to have more people read them in that case. Most people are going to read the title and maybe move on if they don't want to read all this text. So I'd love to shorten these and have them be more balanced. And then you have some issues with like text running right up to a border where things just start to feel a little bit unbalanced. But overall, I think the page is well balanced, looks nice. So no major problem with the overall design, just some small items there. Since this is an advertising client, I kind of focus a lot on looking at calls to action and where people can take action, because I'm going to track conversions when I run campaigns for this client. That's important on every website, of course, but especially when we're spending money, on Google Ads or some kind of advertising, you want people to be able to take action. So on this page, we have an inquire link at the top. There's also one up in the corner here. So 2 at the top, a phone number. As we scroll down the page, we have a link to a portfolio, reviews, learn more. And then not till you get to the bottom do you see another phone number opportunity, and then another inquire link, which is going to take people to a form that they can fill out. So one thing I tell people often is to put calls to action in the main content. People do tend to put them like at the top and the bottom, header and footer in the menu. But if you can get some in the main content as people are scrolling through, a lot of times people decide to leave a page or go to another page. They're going to click a button. If you have an inquire button here, or at least 1 or 2 spaced out, probably going to increase your conversion rate. And if people like what they see here and they want to take action, they might not see the option until they get to the bottom of the page. Notice that the inquire and the phone number do stay sticky and fixed at the top. So that's good, because they're always going to have the opportunity to click inquire or call that phone number. Another thing I wanted to look at is functionality. I think overall things work. If I click links, they work. You'd be surprised how often you just have functionality issues with like links not working and elements not being visible. The only thing I noticed clicking around is there was one link on the home page. I think it was the reviews. If we scroll up here, click reviews, this button doesn't take you anywhere, or it pops up a review maybe. So that's just a functionality issue that's broken that this website owner could definitely fix, probably pretty easily. I did want to point out the about page, which is really strong on this website. I think about pages are really important. I look at a lot of data on websites, and homepage is obviously the #1 visited, but a lot of times the about page is like the #2, most visited page, because people want to know who the person is, who's the website owner, who's the business owner that they're going to be working with. So on this page, I think it's real strong. We got a nice image at the top that's in focus, fits on the screen. The subject is showing, unlike the homepage. And then we have information about Christina, the owner, some really great images of her actually doing the work, which I think is really, really strong. A bio here, which might be a little bit long, but I bet a lot of people do want to read about that. More images of her. So for small businesses like this, I think the about page is really important. Having photos of yourself is really important. I did a whole video on that recently that I'll link to. So I just wanted to point out this is a great example of a strong about page. One little SEO tip here I noticed, and I did a whole video on this, but if we go to the home page, you'll notice that the title of the home page is home, 1 word, 4 letters. The title of the home page is a really strong SEO signal, and a lot of people just by default leave it as home in their website builder or wherever. They're just leaving it that way and not naming it or not figuring out how to give it a title for SEO purposes. So I did another video on that, which I will link to, but that's a real quick fix to just give yourself a little bit more SEO juice and just give it a title, and then it'll show up here. It'll show in search engines, and it'll show right here in the browser tab. So on most of my reviews, I'm going to look at the mobile responsiveness or just the mobile version of the website. And we'll take a quick look. I'm just going to do that by kind of shrinking the browser down to more of a vertical size. Looks like the logo shrinks. There's a pop-up menu, which looks pretty nice. Notice the images actually fit way better on mobile. So it's almost as if they were designed for mobile and not for desktop. So that would be an easy fix depending on what platform you're using, but you can put in a mobile version of this section here so that the images fit better. But yeah, they look great on this orientation here. Logo is a little small. It'd be nice to get that a little bit larger. We'll just scroll through the home page. Looks like this image might be off out of the margins. Things are a little bit crowded. This is like a drag and drop kind of free form website builder I think they're using. So you can see how things are just kind of overlaying, but you might lose some of your spacing and margins in some cases. But overall, I think the free flow form looks nice. I'm not going to go through the whole website on mobile. Just want to see if there's any obvious issues. But overall, I think it's functional and looks good on mobile. So here's a link that's not working. If I click on, how did I get there? So I just kind of stumbled on this issue. It actually took me a second to get back to it, but from the portfolio page, the menu is actually different. So there's probably an old outdated menu. And if I click on information, that is a broken page. So this is just a functionality issue that the website owner can fix, but it's a good lesson for viewers just to kind of check every page. When I do a new website, I kind of like to just click around like crazy and click every link as fast as I can and just make sure things are working. You'll find out sooner or later when things are broken, but things can go a long time broken until someone clicks around and makes sure that everything is functional. I did want to point out one other page. We go back to the home page. I thought the reviews page was really nice. They call it Love Notes from Our Brides. Got some nice photos and words from brides. So yeah, real strong. Great to have testimonials on your site and reviews depending on what kind of business you have. So I'm going to leave it at that for this website mentor video. If you have any comments, thoughts, questions, input into this website, I'm sure the website owner would love to read them. So go ahead and comment below. If you want me to review your website on one of these future videos, go ahead and put it in the comments. And if I think it's a good fit, I'll take a look at it and consider it for one of the future videos. Thanks for watching this one. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and we'll see you on the next one.